The service elevator sighed open like it was exhaling her fear, and Aria Cole stepped out before she could convince herself to go back. The air on this floor felt different, colder, perfumed, expensive in a way she'd only ever seen on the other side of velvet ropes. The carpet muffled her footsteps, swallowing every hint of her presence. Brass-plated room numbers gleamed along the walls, elegant and quiet, and completely wrong for someone wearing a stolen staff blazer. The fabric scratched at her neck, the embroidered hotel crest sitting stiff over her heart like a lie she hadn't earned. Still, she kept her chin level and pushed the rattling catering cart she'd used as camouflage. She ditched the basement corridors 3 floors below, where Dimitri Cade's men were already flashing her photo like hunting permits. She didn't have the luxury of turning back. Not tonight. Not when the debt collectors were this close to her heels. A soft mechanical whir made her glance up just in time to see a black glass security dome rotate, slow, deliberate, watching her. Her skin tightened. She forced her breathing to slow and kept walking, counting off sweet numbers like she had somewhere she was meant to be. The silence of the hallway was unsettling, no staff, no guests, no distant vacuum hum, only the faint spill of city light under faraway doors. Her fingertips brushed each handle as she passed, lightly testing them like she was asking fate for a single favor. The third one, gave. Barely. Just enough. She slid the cart against the wall, wrapped a hand around the handle, and eased the door open with the caution of someone who'd survived too many close calls. The suite inside was dim, lit by the soft underglow of the bar and the distant shimmer of city lights cutting through half-drawn curtains. No voices. No footsteps. No running shower. Empty. Rich and empty. She slipped inside, letting the door fall almost shut behind her. Her pulse clattered in her chest as she scanned the room, countertops, trays, leather cases, anything small, valuable, and pawnable enough to buy back a week of survival. Her fingers hovered above a sleek leather wallet when she heard it, the door clicking fully closed. Not by her hand. Aria froze, every nerve in her body pulling tight like wire. She turned, slowly, like movement itself might trigger something worse. He was there. Seated in an armchair near the window, one leg crossed over the other, a glass of dark amber liquor balanced loosely between his fingers. The city's reflection draped him in shifting golden blue, but his eyes were fixed on her, steady, composed, and far too aware. He looked like he'd been waiting. Watching. He didn't shout. He didn't stand. He didn't reach for a phone. He simply studied her, the oversized blazer, the counterfeit badge, the trembling hand frozen inches from his wallet. What exactly, he asked, voice low and precise, are you trying to steal? Her stomach dropped clean out of her. She opened her mouth, excuses, lies, anything, but her throat locked around panic. He tilted his head slightly, amusement brushing his mouth in a way that made him 10 times more dangerous. His phone buzzed on the side table. A security alert blinked across the screen. Security, disturbance on level 27. Female. Short dark hair. Staff blazer. No record. Her description. Her doom, already moving. Fear surged through her bloodstream like adrenaline given sharp edges. She moved without thinking, stepping toward him fast, not for the wallet anymore, but for the watch on his wrist. Sleek, minimal, expensive. A week of breathing money. Her fingertips brushed the cool metal, then his hand closed around her wrist with flawless precision. Firm, not cruel. Final, not panicked. No, he said simply. Up close, She saw details she'd missed at first glance. The ink tucked under his cuff, the sharp lines of a custom shirt, the stillness of a man who didn't guess his advantages. He knew them. "I'll leave," she stammered. "You'll never?" "You walked into my room," he murmured. "You tried to rob me. And now you think leaving is that simple?" His phone buzzed again. Dimitri's men were getting closer. His eyes skimmed the alert, then returned to her face, studying, calculating. He released her wrist. The sudden freedom made her stumble back toward the door like gravity had tilted. Her fingers curled around the handle. "I was never here," she whispered. "You didn't see." He lifted one hand, just one, and pressed his palm flat to the door above her shoulder, stopping it from opening. "Listen." Footsteps. Voices. Dimitri's voice. Dripping arrogance through the crack under the door. Rafael, though she didn't know his name yet, leaned just close enough for his words to reach only her. "If you walk out now," he murmured, "they'll take you before the elevator even closes." Her heartbeat stuttered. Her voice felt like broken glass in her throat. "Then what do I do?" He breathed in once. A decision formed behind his eyes. "For tonight," he said, locking the door with a soft, irrevocable click, "you stay in this room. With me." Rafael didn't look back at the door. As if Dimitri Cade's voice on the other side wasn't a threat, just an annoyance disrupting his evening. Aria stayed pinned where she stood, adrenaline shaking through her veins, the lock's soft click echoing inside her bones. He walked to the curtains and swept them open with one smooth motion. City lights poured in, cold blues, sharp golds, streaks of neon carving the skyline like a heartbeat. Aria had never been this high up. The world looked unreal from here, a glittering map she didn't belong inside. "You know this floor isn't for staff," he said. She swallowed hard, every lie she'd prepared dissolving on her tongue. The window reflection showed the truth, her too big blazer, her trembling fingers, her wide eyes giving away everything she wanted to hide. Rafael turned toward her slowly, gaze brushing from her badge to her face like he was piecing her together. "What's your real name?" She hesitated, instinct screaming to lie, to protect whatever scrap of control she had left. "Aria," she whispered. His eyes drifted to her badge again. "Then this isn't yours." It wasn't a question. It wasn't an accusation. It was recognition. A chill rippled through her. He moved to the small bar and poured a glass of water. When he slid it toward her, she didn't touch it, her hands were shaking too badly. Rafael leaned back against the bar, arms crossed, posture controlled in a way that made the room feel smaller. "If you stay," he said, "there are rules." Her chest tightened. She hated that word. Rules belonged to men who wanted things from her. Money. Fear. Silence. "I don't need your rules," she said. "You do," he countered, "if you want to leave this hotel alive." Her pulse fluttered. His voice wasn't threatening. It was, matter-of-fact. Like he was stating the weather. "Rule 1, he continued. "You stay in this suite. Rule 2, you answer my questions honestly. Rule 3 his eyes flicked to her empty hand, "you don't touch anything else that's mine." Heat rushed to her cheeks. "I wasn't." "Yes," he said softly, "you were." She turned away, embarrassed and cornered at once. Her gaze landed on a half-open folder on the table. She didn't recognize the name on it, but the insignia above it made her throat tighten. DeLuca. A name whispered in every back alley she'd ever passed through. A name people said carefully. Too carefully. Suddenly, she understood why he hadn't panicked. Why he wasn't afraid of Dimitri. Why she probably should be afraid of him. Aria wrapped her arms around herself, stepping into the window's glow like the distance might shield her. "He's after me because of a debt," she muttered. Not the whole truth, but the slice she could survive speaking aloud. Rafael didn't interrupt. He didn't soften, didn't judge. He watched her the way someone watches a fuse burn toward something dangerous. "Whose debt?" he asked. Her breath shook. "My brother's." Something in Rafael's posture shifted, so slight she would have missed it if she wasn't already studying him like he was her last chance. "Your brother," he repeated, quietly testing the weight of the word. She nodded. "He died owing money. They decided I'm good enough to collect from." Raphael's eyes darkened, not with anger, but calculation. "Dimitri Cade?" She froze. "How do you?" He didn't answer. And the silence told her everything. He didn't just know Dimitri. He was above him. Raphael crossed the suite in 3 unhurried strides, retrieving his phone from the armchair. His voice shifted into something colder, official, controlled. "Tell me where Cade is." A pause. "No. Don't approach. Just track." He ended the call and set the phone down with a quiet thud. Aria's chest tightened. "Why do you care?" He raised an eyebrow. "I don't." The honesty stung more than she expected. "But," he added after a beat, "he's sloppy tonight. Loud. And he's making choices he shouldn't make on my property." It wasn't about her. It was about territory. About a line Dimitri had crossed. She stepped closer without realizing it. Something on the bar caught her eye, a glow coming from his phone screen. Her room number. Her name. Her brother's surname. Someone had forwarded her information directly to him. Her breath stalled. He knew more about her than she'd said. Raphael picked up the glass she'd refused and placed it in her hand. Not gently. Not harshly. Firmly, like grounding someone mid-panic. "Why didn't you go to the police?" he asked. A bitter laugh slipped out. "Police don't fix debts. They write new ones." He didn't smile. Didn't look away. Just studied her as if he were trying to map the parts she'd been forced to hide. A soft chime came from his monitor behind them. She turned, dread crawling up her spine. Dimitri had entered the lobby. Not alone. Her voice cracked. He wouldn't come this high. Raphael didn't answer. Which was the answer? She backed up a step. Then another. His gaze followed every movement, assessing, calculating, deciding. "Tell me the truth," he said, softer now but dangerously intent. "What exactly does he want from you?" Aria opened her mouth. Closed it again. Her voice landed as a whisper. "Everything." And downstairs, an elevator chimed. A soft hum vibrated through the suite's hidden speakers, subtle, but Raphael reacted instantly. A live security feed slid across the nearest monitor, illuminating the room in cold light. Aria drifted closer without meaning to. The screen filled with the hotel lobby, sleek marble floors, a sprawling chandelier, and Dimitri Cade standing at the front desk like he owned the place. He tapped a photograph against the counter. Her photograph. Not discreetly. Not quietly. He showed it like a trophy. Beside him, a hotel security manager nodded too quickly, his eyes darting around as though scanning for a witness he didn't want seeing this exchange. Rafael leaned one hand on the armchair, his fingers curling around the leather. His expression tightened, not fear, not surprise, but irritation sharpened into something cold. "He's making noise," Rafael murmured. "Too much noise." Aria's stomach twisted. Dimitri handed her picture to another staff member and pointed toward the elevators, exactly the bank she had used minutes earlier. Rafael's eyes slid her way. Measured. Heavy. Calculating. "He brought her picture into my building." His voice dropped lower. "That's a mistake he won't enjoy." Then he turned, as if resolved. He crossed the suite to a locked drawer, punched in a code Aria couldn't catch, and retrieved a thin black tablet. Its screen came alive with a list of internal profiles, names, affiliations, threat assessments. He tapped Dimitri Cade. A full web of connections bloomed across the display: territory intrusions, debt trades, violent incidents, questionable alliances. Dimitri wasn't a thug. He was a problem. But then Rafael swiped left. A new file opened. Aria's breath hitched. Cole, Mason. Her brother. A grainy ID photo flickered onto the screen, her brother younger, thinner, haunted. She saw the fear in his eyes even through bad resolution. She stepped closer, her voice barely audible. "No." Rafael didn't speak, not immediately. He watched her, reading her reaction as carefully as he read the file. "Your brother wasn't just in debt," he said at last, tone clipped and controlled. "He was caught between crews." Her chest tightened painfully. "What does that mean?" He tapped a red-flagged incident report. "Deliveries gone wrong. Wrong crew involvement. A fight outside an unmarked warehouse." Aria shook her head. "No. He wasn't in this life. He didn't do things like this." Rafael's voice softened, but the truth in it remained unflinching. "People do a lot of things when they are desperate." Her eyes stung, but she forced the tears back. "His death, it was supposed to be an accident. That's what they told me." Rafael's jaw flexed. "Accidents don't come with that many missing details." The room felt heavier, like the walls themselves understood more of her past than she did. Rafael closed the file and set the tablet aside, turning fully toward her. "There's a truce," he said. "A line. Cade has his space. I have mine. We don't cross each other." She blinked. "So you can't help me?" He took a step closer, slow, deliberate, steady. "No," he said. "I'm saying I shouldn't." Her heart faltered. "But then," he continued, "he walked into my hotel tonight. With your picture. Your name. Your brother's past." His jaw clenched. "He involved people I don't allow him to touch." Aria's voice cracked. "Why does that matter to you?" He studied her for a long, unbroken second. "Because," he said quietly, "you didn't ask for this. And I don't let men like him decide what happens under my roof." A sharp tone chimed from the monitor. Dimitri had entered a restricted hallway. Rafael's expression shifted, controlled alertness snapping into place. "We are leaving." He moved quickly, opening a concealed panel near the minibar. A private elevator stood behind it, hidden in mirrored steel. Aria's pulse jumped. "Where does it go?" she asked. "Somewhere safer," he said. "Move." She followed because fear dragged her forward and instinct kept her beside him. The elevator closed around them with a soft vacuum hiss. Rafael keyed in a destination she couldn't see, his fingers calm and practiced. Her reflection trembled in the mirrored walls. His didn't. A vibration pulsed through the elevator's panel. Someone was scanning nearby access points. "That's him," Aria whispered. Rafael didn't deny it. He stood between her and the doors, blocking her from even the idea of danger. "He'll try," Rafael murmured. "But he won't reach you." The elevator glided upward, silent, smooth, too slow. Then, it stopped. Not fully. Just a subtle stall. Aria's fingers dug into the rail. "Rafael?" "Not him," Rafael said. "Someone else." The elevator resumed its ascent. A moment later, the doors parted onto a narrow service corridor bathed in amber light. 3 men stood waiting. Not Dimitri's men. Rafael's. But something was wrong. Rafael stepped forward, raising his hand slightly in front of Aria. "Report." The tallest man cleared his throat. "Cade's on the lower service level." Someone directed him to the private elevator system. Someone with access. A low, cold dread rolled through Aria. Rafael's gaze sharpened. Who gave him access? Silence. Then, the shortest guard flicked his eyes toward Aria. Rafael turned to him slowly, methodically, like a predator acknowledging prey that didn't know it had been seen. "You sold access," Rafael said. Not loud. Not fast. Surgical. To Dimitri Cade. The guard stumbled back, words tripping out of him. I didn't know she was with you. I thought she was just some girl, easy money." Rafael stepped closer, his voice a quiet blade. "You compromised my building. You compromised my guest." The man opened his mouth again, but Rafael was already turning away. "You're done," Rafael said. "Stay here. My men will handle you." The traitor paled as 2 guards dragged him away. Rafael looked at Aria then, really looked. Not at the fear. At the danger around her. "This isn't random anymore," he said. His closing in. He guided her down a metal stairwell that echoed with every hurried step. His presence filled the space, controlled, anchored, protective. They emerged into a sprawling underground garage, rows of black sedans gleaming under fluorescent strips, shadows stretching long across the concrete. Rafael unlocked a dark sedan. "Get in," he said. "Once you're inside, you don't move." She reached for the door, her hand trembling. Then, ding, an elevator opened behind them. Dimitri stepped out with 2 men at his sides. His grin spread wide. "There you are." Aria's blood iced. Rafael moved in front of her without hesitation, no warning, no thought, just instinct. A line drawn across the garage floor. Dimitri tapped his fingers against his thigh, eyes dancing between them. "Didn't think you were the type to shelter thieves." Rafael said nothing. Stillness became threat. Dimitri gestured toward Aria. She belongs to me tonight. Debt's a debt. Aria flinched. Rafael's voice finally broke the tension, quiet but absolute. You don't touch her. Dimitri blinked. Then scoffed. And why would the DeLuca heir care about a girl like that? Aria froze. DeLuca heir? Rafael didn't react outwardly, but the garage felt smaller around him, like the air was tightening to accommodate the truth. She's under my protection, he said. The space went still. Dimitri lunged, hand reaching for Aria's wrist. But Rafael moved first. Fast. Controlled. Calculating. His hand intercepted Dimitri's in midair, twisting sharply. Dimitri dropped to a knee with a choked sound. One of his men charged. Rafael pivoted, driving an elbow into the man's chest, sending him crashing onto a hood. The second man reached under his jacket. A gun? A blade? Rafael's guard slammed him into a pillar before he could draw. Dimitri stumbled back, clutching his wrist. You're breaking the truce, DeLuca. Rafael stepped forward with calm, lethal precision. You broke it first when you reached for what's mine to protect. Aria's breath stilled. Dimitri spat venom. This isn't over. No, Rafael said. It isn't. Dimitri backed toward the elevator, eyes burning hatred into Aria, promising future ruin, but he didn't dare touch her again. Not with Rafael watching. The elevator closed on the threat, leaving the garage echoing with silence and adrenaline. Rafael turned to Aria slowly, checking her. Noticing her. Grounding her. Are you hurt? He asked quietly. His voice had changed again, soft, low, steady, and it cracked something she'd been holding together for too long. Her knees almost buckled. Rafael stepped closer, placing one hand on her forearm. A gentle, anchoring touch. You're safe, he murmured. As long as you're with me, you're safe. Her breath shook out of her, raw and trembling. Rafael opened the sedan door. You're not going back to your apartment, he said. Or anywhere he can reach you. Then, where do I go? With me. The badge she'd stolen lay bent on the floor. Rafael picked it up, turning it between his fingers. The plastic crunched softly. As long as you're Aria Cole, he said, he'll hunt you. Her heart stuttered. So tonight, he bent the badge in half, clean, final. That version of you ends. Her voice trembled. What does that mean? He stepped close enough for her breath to catch. It means you're under my protection. Under my roof. Under my name if necessary. Her pulse stumbled. If you stay, he said, you stay because you choose safety. Not because I force it. Her throat tightened. What if I don't want to be protected? He met her eyes. You wouldn't be standing here. He held the car door open, soft interior light spilling over her like a fragile choice. You can run, he said quietly. Or you can get in. Aria looked at him, really looked, and for the first time all night, she wasn't choosing survival. She was choosing him. She stepped into the car. Rafael closed the door, gentle, controlled. He slid into the driver's seat beside her. The engine hummed alive. Whoever comes for you next, he murmured, the vow sinking into her bones. Will face me first. The car rolled out of the garage, leaving shadows behind, and entering the beginning of something far more dangerous. And impossibly safe.